An Indonesian Christian's 15-year struggle to gain refugee status in Australia has come to an end. Now Dicky Susanto, his wife and 7-year-old son face imminent deportation. His supporters say the Immigration Department has handled the case badly because his brother was granted residency in identical circumstances. A psychiatrist is concerned about the mental health of the family and particularly their 7-year-old son, who spent his entire life in Australia. David Mark reports.
After a decade and a half, these could be the last few days at home for this Sydney family.
I feel this is my home already, you know. I know, but why they want me to go home, you know?
Dicky Susanto, his wife Henny Isamiyadi and their 7-year-old son Gavin have been negotiating the immigration bureaucracy, hoping for a new life in Australia.
Gavin, you want to share with me?
Mr. Susanto's fight began when he and his brother Agus fled Indonesia in 1996. The two Chinese Christians claimed they were the victims of racial and religious vilification and abuse in the dying days of President Suharto's regime. Mr. Susanto says the final straw came when their grocery business in Jakarta was burned down.
That's why my shop just got burned, you know. That happened, and that time I ran away here.
Both brothers applied for refugee status in Australia. Both were turned down and both appealed to the Refugee Review Tribunal. His brother Agus was successful and was granted refugee status, but Dicky Susanto's appeal was turned down.
When we come here and we got same ground, same story, we come on the same day, on the same flight. So when I got rejected, my brother got granted visa. They granted visa for my brother, and I feel like not fair for me.
That was 13 years ago. Since then he's stayed in Australia, at times on bridging visas, sometimes illegally. He's also spent time in Sydney's Villawood Detention Centre.
And then I start to apply again for minister intervention, you know, but all the time I got rejected.
Now, in a last throw of the dice, the family has appealed to the Immigration Minister, Chris Bowen. They've asked him to consider the welfare of their son Gavin, who's lived his entire life in Australia.
I know how to work hard to make money, you know. Maybe one day I'm going to become success, I'm going to hire people, but I'm not promised like a big thing, you know. I can't promise that. But at least I want to grow my family here, build a family, you know, give good education to my boy, become better than us, of course. That's all I need. How are you?
Hello, how are you doing?
Psychiatrist Dr. Michael Dudley has been helping the family.
They're in a state of acute anxiety, they're not sleeping, they're having difficulty holding things together for their child. And he's, you know, having significant emotional and behavioural problems as well. They're quite worryingly depressed.
The pastor of the family's Sydney Bethany Church, August Gunawan, has written to the Immigration Minister supporting ministerial intervention and included a petition signed by more than 300 people.
What I want the minister to do is to reconsider this case on the humanitarian background. So I can see there is a miscarriage of the justice because Australia as a nation protect the elder brother but try to kick out the younger brother from this nation.
But it seems that argument hasn't been persuasive.
So I'll do the talking for you.
Thank you. We're scared already.
I know.
The family are joined by another supporter, Narita Rossell, for a meeting at the Immigration Department's Sydney offices. But inside they've heard the news they were dreading.
I just got the letter from the minister. They said our letter they're not going to send to the minister because several times we put the letter to the minister. So by the 4th, we have to go back. 4th of June.
A spokesman for the Immigration Minister, Chris Bowen, has told Lateline the Minister has reviewed the family's case and wouldn't be intervening. He said if any new compelling information came to light, the department would consider it. David Mark, Lateline.